is 7 o'clock, and I am going to go ahead and get started. Micah, you can see our screen, full screen PowerPoint? Very good. Thank you so very much. Welcome to all of you who are joining us on the screen tonight. We have a couple of housekeeping things we want to cover first before we dive right into our presentation with our professionals that we have. First of all, welcome to our Future Focused series. This series is in place through our intermediate school district that revolves around all things next steps for our students. The series is designed really to help students explore and prepare for their future and their career goals. We have a mantra at the ISD that's rather simple, and that's that every student has a career in them. It's our job to find it with them, right? And so our Future Focused series is in place to help us have those conversations. Tonight, we kick off a special series for our students in the Muskegon area, and it's titled Paying for College, Essential Steps. And tonight's first topic is scholarships. We are expecting quite a large crowd tonight, as many of you might be able to see on our screen for the number of participants that we have. Because of our larger numbers and because of the time frame that we have, which is about 45 minutes or so, we want to make sure we do this as efficiently as possible. So some of the things that we're asking of our guest to do tonight is to remain muted and to leave their video turned off. And that is to make sure that we are paying attention and recording those of the experts, and we can share that on YouTube later. We're asking, of course, to use our chat feature. And the chat feature we will monitor to make sure all of our questions are answered as best as we can. And if we're finding that we have too many to be answered in our time allotted tonight, we will certainly make sure we put together a FAQ, a frequently asked questions document, to make sure that we send that in follow-up as well. This session is recorded for our reference and for those folks to watch later as we move on. In introducing our experts, I want to start out with the folks that you're seeing on the screen today. You hopefully will be able to see many of their thumbnail pictures on our Zoom today, and I want to make sure we pay special attention to who they are. We have some experts today, of course, from our Community Foundation. Dana Scott, can you give a wave? Dana? Dana, can you hear me? Let's move on to Ashley Battle. Ashley, can you give a wave?
I did wave, but I thought you'd see me.
I think you're frozen, Dana. I apologize for that. And Shannon Starr from Baker College, can you give a wave? Perfect. Hello, Shannon. And my trusty sidekick, we have Micah Muda also here. Micah, can you give a wave? Beautiful. Micah is our youth impact coordinator that works with myself at the intermediate school district. And Micah has 3 years of college advising experience from one of our high schools right here in the Muskegon area in Montague, and is now working with me in her 4th year of advising with the ISD. Myself, Megan Byard-Caraba, I work as our college access specialist here for the intermediate school district, and I am working with our Promise program as part of our place-based scholarship. So hopefully going to be sharing quite a bit with you all tonight in what we know about essential steps and paying for college. Also with me tonight, she probably doesn't realize I'm going to do this, but I'm also a mother of a junior, okay? So Whitney here tonight, welcome to my living room all. Whitney is with me as a kind of a learner, right? Right along with some of you on the call today, juniors, seniors, parents, and maybe even staff members. So thank you, Whitney.
Hi.
we're going to go ahead and make sure that we have all your questions answered and take a peek at our chat feature as best as we can. So with that being said, Micah, I have a couple of things you had mentioned coming on that you wanted students to make sure that they use the chat feature for more than just questions. And what I want to remind folks is this is going to be really helpful for us at the end of our scholarship presentation tonight as we draw a pretty large scholarship. Okay. And what we want to know from you is your role. Are you a student tonight? Are you a parent? Are you a staff member? And then what school are you from? So if we could learn those two things from you in chat, that would be fantastic. And we will make sure that we take a look at that and use that for our knowledge as we spin for some wonderful results later tonight. So with that, I have some questions for our experts as we kick off our presentation tonight. And the first one is actually going to go to Micah. Micah, can you take yourself off of mute?
Yep.
Beautiful. Micah, can you explain to us or tell us, what exactly is a scholarship?
Yes, I typically define a scholarship in the simple definition that it is free money that you can use to pay for college or trade school.
Perfect. So free money. So I don't have to pay it back, right? If I earn it, it doesn't necessarily, it's not this debt that is holding over me, right? It's something that I can use. Very good. And Dana, can you take yourself off of mute for just a moment? Awesome. Dana, if you've got good connection for us, can you tell us why students should apply for a scholarship? She might have bad connection again. Micah, you wanna take that one? Why? You told us what it is, but why are we?
Anybody can receive a scholarship. Some scholarships are,
Sounds like Dana might have some connection issues. Micah, you want to pinball on that answer?
Sure. It sounded like, I hope I can get at Dana's answer because I was trying to listen. It sounded like she might have been saying that all ages can get scholarships for all different programs, no matter what you're pursuing. And I also like to say every bit helps. So whether it's a $200 scholarship for books or a $2,000 scholarship, there are many different scholarships for many different pathways and goals and career dreams, and every bit helps and for any age.
You answered that perfect. I was just going to say that we have many scholarships. Some are unrestricted, some are based on academics, some are field of study, some are college. The minimum scholarship award that we offer is $1,000. And on average, we give out a minimum of $2,000. An average scholarship is $2,000. And last year we gave $1.3 million out in scholarships.
Wow, that's awesome. So that's a great lead in, Dana. One of the things that I wanted to share with all of you on our Zoom series tonight is our foundation. The foundation that Dana Scott works for as our scholarship coordinator is a great place to start when we think about scholarships, earning that free money for our next step adventure, whether it's a 2-year college, 4-year college, trade school, whatever we're looking for. And they put together some really great marketing tools for us and some informational pieces. And I want to share that with you tonight in a very short video. Micah, I'm going to look to you for a thumbs up on whether you can hear this video or not. Okay, let's take a peek at what our Community Foundation has to say.
Hi friends, I'm going to share with you today why you should apply for a Community Foundation for Muskegon County Scholarship. The next 2 minutes gives you access to more than 200 scholarships. Let's go. Last year, the Community Foundation committed over $1.3 million to help support students like you. One application enters you in the running for every scholarship you qualify for. And with over 200 scholarships available, that one application can make a big difference. Scholarships aren't just for high school seniors. They are for anyone attending college or trade school, including adults returning to continue their education. Donors have started funds to support all types of students, from those with great grades to those with lower grades but great potential, those with extensive work experience, and those who may excel in community engagement. If you are continuing your education in any way, you should apply for a scholarship. To apply for a Community Foundation scholarship, follow these 3 steps. 1, complete the online application. 2, turn in your transcripts, high school, college, or both, depending on where you are in your education journey. 3, send us your student aid report from your FAFSA. Write down this date, February 1, 2021. That's the deadline to complete all 3 steps to submit your application. Graduating seniors find out if they received a scholarship by early April, and older students will find out in early June. Head to muskegonfoundation.org/scholarships to apply today. There you'll find additional resources like an application checklist, FAQs, and much more. If you have questions, and you probably do, our scholarship team can help. Please email dana@muskegonfoundation.org. Don't miss out on money to support your future. Apply now.
So awesome information from Dana and her crew at the foundation. Thank you so very much. We'll make sure that we send that video again to all of you who are watching tonight. So in case you need to refer back to it as well. Next up, thank you, Dana, for sharing that awesome resource. Next up are some friends that we have from Muskegon Community College, also with some great advice on scholarships that we have here locally. I want to welcome to our screen Ashley Battle. Ashley, can you talk to us a little bit about Muskegon Community College?
Yes, thank you, Megan. So hello, everyone. And I'm just going to give you a few key points about our scholarships. Much like the Community Foundation, our scholarship application is electronic, so it's online, which is really nice for our students. We have around 60 scholarships that you can apply for. Some of them are based on what program you're going into. So say, for instance, you're going into applied technology, which is like welding, CAD machining, or if you're going into the arts or theater, there's scholarships for those. Some of them are based on your GPA, your high school GPA, and some of them do not have a GPA requirement at all. It could be based on what high school you graduated from. There's a gamut of eligibility requirements that are out there for our scholarships. The majority of our scholarships are due by March 1st. So please, please, please make sure that you watch deadline dates for any scholarship that you apply for, whether it's Muskegon Community College scholarships or any other outside scholarships. Watch those deadline dates. Most of our scholarships do require you to fill out the FAFSA and have that completed as well, and send in your high school transcript. So pretty similar to the Community Foundation application as well. I will encourage you to apply for as many scholarships that you qualify for, okay? I say you can never have too much free money, right? So apply for anything that you qualify for, especially at Muskegon Community College, because a lot of our students, for whatever reason, do not apply for scholarships. So there's a lot of money that goes unused because no one applied, so we cannot award that money to anyone. So I say go for it. Even if you are receiving the Pell Grant from the government, or if you have tuition incentive programs, still apply. A little bit about me and my story. I graduated from Orchard View High School, and I ended up attending MCC for my first 2 years before I transferred out. And I qualified for the Pell Grant. I also had TIP, and I also had several scholarships. So I had a ton of money to pay for my schooling, and I ended up being able to receive a refund, which helped me pay for my books and helped me pay for some other school necessities that I needed. So if you have any questions about our scholarships, please do visit our scholarship page. It's hyperlinked on this slide. And if you have any questions, reach out to us as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. It is hyperlinked on this presentation. And one of the things we'll chat about at the end is our presentation will be shared with everybody tonight as well, those of you who attended. And so those hyperlinks will be super easy to obtain. Wonderful detail. Thank you very much, Ashley. I'm just looking at chat now to see if anything has come up pertinent to anything we have touched on so far. And I don't necessarily see any questions that Micah has not already answered. So thank you, Micah. I appreciate that. One question in particular was, do you wait until you're a senior in high school to apply for a scholarship, not a junior? And Micah made a reply, yes, we would wait until you were a senior. But some of our juniors, we certainly have some tools for you to look at as you start to find out what our scholarship options are. So thank you, Micah, for answering that question. Next up, an expert we have with us is Mr. Shannon Starr. And Shannon is from Baker College and has also a wealth of information to share us about our other great local opportunity. Shannon?
Okay, hey, so Megan, can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Sounds good. Okay, so hey everyone, my name is Shannon Starr, and obviously I'm from Baker College. Listen, just real quick, I want to congratulate all the seniors on graduating. You have roughly 5 months and you're going to be done forever. You won't ever have to go through high school again, and then you're off to your next stage in your life. And the juniors, listen, you're going to graduate soon enough, so hang in there with COVID and everything else that's going on. It'll happen and it'll be here before you know it. And either way, it's a huge accomplishment for everyone. What I really wanted to touch on is that whether you're a junior or senior, there's a lot of stress in just choosing a college, right? And there are many of you that are thinking about going away to school, and there are some of you that are going to stay local, and both options are great. But once you decide on where you want to go, and once that is decided, you have the stress of how you're going to pay for it. And there's some anxiety that comes along with that. So hopefully tonight we can eliminate some of that stress for all of you in paying for school. And I think it's a great opportunity that we are providing for everyone tonight. And so I'm just glad to be a part of it. I can brag a lot about Baker College, and I can also brag about Muskegon Community College as well. And then I've become very familiar with the Community Foundation. And so I can be very proud to tell all of you, you have many, many opportunities and ways to pay for school. And I'm just going to speak of a few. And I can tell you that Baker College has many, many scholarships that we provide, but I just listed 3. And I wanted to just give you some examples of how that works, so you understand how that may apply to each and every one of you. So first of all, because of COVID, our requirements for many of our scholarships require a grade point average and a test score. And because of COVID and some of the complications provided to us over the past year, many students were either not able to take their SATs, or they were delayed, or just didn't happen. And we didn't want to punish those students for not being able to take that because of those situations. So now we changed the and having a test score to an or. And so for any student that plans on attending Baker and is eligible for a scholarship, they only need to meet the GPA or the test score requirement. And I can give you some examples. And the first one I'll touch on is our Dean Scholarship. That's a $3,000 a year scholarship. And if you have a 3.0 or a 980 on your SATs, you're going to get that scholarship. And, you know, it's important that you apply to not only the college, but to for those scholarships. But one thing we've done at Baker College, which has made it very easy for our students, is once you apply to Baker, once we receive your transcripts, if you meet the requirement, you automatically get that scholarship. So there isn't an application for our scholarship. And that makes it very convenient, and you don't miss out on a scholarship. Last year, we gave out over $10 million in scholarships. And I promise you, it wasn't because a student forgot to apply. It was because they did qualify and we gave them that scholarship, which is a huge, huge benefit. The next scholarship is our Regents. Now, that's a $3,000 a semester. That's $6,000 a year. If you have a 3.5 GPA, oh my goodness, first of all, congratulations. You've rocked it out from freshman year to graduation. You've done the work. And on top of other scholarships like the Muskegon Promise or any other academic scholarships, that adds up. And what has already been mentioned today is you may be eligible for many, many scholarships and have more than enough to help pay for your school, books, supplies, even housing, which is great. And so there is money out there for you, but I just wanted to let you know if you have a 3.5, oh my goodness, you are looking really good. And the only way you're going to know if you're eligible for those scholarships is if you make that effort. It's not going to just fall in your lap just because you're a nice kid. It's going to require some effort on your part. And if you have questions or if you need help, definitely reach out and ask, because that's why we're here and that's why we're doing what we're doing tonight. And then the last scholarship I really will touch on, it's our presidential scholarship. This is mostly geared toward the juniors that are on the call. There's a deadline by December 15th. And if you have a 3.8 or a 1390 on your SATs, your tuition is fully covered. Now, there is a limit on how many of those scholarships we give out. We have never met the limit. So we're pretty generous with giving that presidential scholarship. And one thing I've overlooked to tell you, with our Regents and our Dean Scholarship, if you're eligible, you are going to get it, and we don't cap that off. So every student that does qualify will get that scholarship. And then one last thing. I know it was mentioned earlier that some of the scholarships, we wait to look until you're seniors. Baker doesn't necessarily do that. If you meet the minimum requirements at the end of your junior year, and if you apply to Baker at that time, we will award you that scholarship. We don't want you to miss out on those opportunities. So pretty cool, some great opportunities for everyone. If you have further questions, definitely go to our hyperlink. It lists all of our scholarships, so you may be eligible for others, and it answers a lot of your questions. And then our deadline for our scholarships is March 1st, like most other institutions. So giddy up, hey, get out there and get busy and do your work. And I promise you, it'll make you feel a lot better and eliminate a lot of stress. So thank you again for listening. Good luck with all your future plans.
Awesome. Thank you. Wonderful advice, Shannon, about, just kind of going for it and taking full advantage of everything. While you were chatting and presenting on some of your awards at Baker, we did have a couple of questions come up that are specific to Baker that I'm hoping that you might be able to answer. Are the Baker scholarships only for seniors?
Okay.
Yes.
No, they are not. They are not. So juniors can apply, but they are coming for first-time students. So what we have, and I just want to be completely honest and transparent with all of you. If you take a year off of school and then you try to apply, you may not be eligible for those scholarships. So those are for students that are coming right out of high school and starting for fall of their graduating year.
Perfect. And you mentioned some of our COVID-19 pandemic kind of reaction to some of the leniency in your policies, right? It's typically a GPA and a test score, and now it's an or instead of an and. And we're wondering, do you think the requirements will stick? Will COVID-19 put that in motion forever?
It's a good question. I don't have a definitive answer for that, but what I can tell you is for juniors that are applying, we won't deny you that scholarship if we get through this pandemic. We're not going to change it in the middle of an application cycle. So for all the juniors on the call, if you meet one or the other of the requirements, we will honor that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And the last question that's Baker specific, this is one we get all the time. Transferable credits?
Yes. So, I know we're talking about scholarships, but thanks for asking that question so I can eliminate that. Yeah, we have made it one of our goals to make sure our transferability has become a lot better than it has in the past. And we actually have partnered with Muskegon Community College and working with articulation agreements to make sure that that transfer is a lot easier. And so for the past 3 years, we have made that a priority for any transfer student that wanted to come to Baker to make that a lot easier and accepting more credits. And so one of the things we've done is if you went to MCC and um, received 60 credit hours or an associate degree, you would take no more than 2 more years at Baker College. You would start as a junior with us. We would accept that entire degree. So the first 2 years of school would have been completed by the time you got to Baker. And so there isn't any question on whether your credits would transfer. We would accept all of them.
Right. Good. 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 Yeah, that's one of the things that we keep hearing time and time again is our credits transferable, and one of the things that I like to tell families about opportunities between MCC and Baker is, we have bachelor degree opportunities at Baker. And, that's one thing that we have amazing in our backyard here in Muskegon County are programs that can offer a 4-year degree and even further than that. So, there are tons of opportunities. And you're right, Shannon, we're talking scholarships tonight, and we could talk forever, I feel like, about opportunity that we have for our students. But I want to make sure that we paid attention to some of those questions as they came up. Thank you very much for sharing your expertise about what Baker has to offer as well. Ashley, thank you for sharing about our Muskegon Community College offerings as well. So, as we look to round out a couple of things, I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit of time to share with folks on the call more of what's available. We heard from our local options with Dana at the foundation and Ashley at MCC and Shannon at Baker, but I want to make sure I'm really paying attention to what else do we have. And paying attention to the fact that there's juniors on the call, right? Like Whitney in introduction of my daughter. And there's parents on the call and, staff members within our schools. And I just want to make sure I point out a few things that could be really helpful as we look at scholarship searching and earning and making sure that we're keeping our details in place. And the first thing I want to share is the fact that we have Zello. And so when we think about learning more about scholarships and what it can do for us, I really encourage all of our students on the Zoom tonight and parents look at Zello, right? Zello is a web-based platform that we have countywide, 34 schools, 14,000 plus students, all with accounts. And Zello is a career exposure, readiness, preparation, college focused platform. And it allows our students to keep a diary, if you will, of everything that they have their heart set on. We can do assessments on things that they like. We can learn about the skills that they're interested in, learn about careers that they're interested in, and certainly that college planning feature. So these particular images you're seeing on the PowerPoint tonight are screenshots from Zello. So I really encourage you to ask your student, if you're a parent, what does Zello look like? Can you show that to me? Or as a student, get into it. We have some really cool features. In your dashboard, as a junior or a senior working in Zello, we have a pillar called goals and plans, and college planning is one of those. And so if I get into college planning, now you can start to see all of the wonderful resources and information that we have about making that step happen. Scholarships is one of them. There's a whole entire feature and section in Zello that's all things local scholarships. So everything that you've learned tonight, from Dana's at the Community Foundation to our locals with Baker and MCC, to also the Muskegon Area Promise, that's in there. We have Rotary and Lions Club and Women's Division, right? Chamber. We have all kinds of local scholarships that our students can research and tag and remind themselves if they're juniors, I want to go back to that later and I want to see what that's all about. And as a senior, actually following through and doing the steps and taking full advantage of what it is to make that scholarship happen, as well as deadlines. We've heard a couple of deadline dates tonight, right? February 1st for our community foundation, March 1st for Baker and for MCC, right? So we've got lots of different deadlines, and it's really important to stay on top of those. So Zello is a wonderful tool to use and to lean on, and hopefully we can make that happen. As we look at what else can we share with you as families who are interested in that next step? High school's almost over. What can we consider? I want to remind you this is one part to a 4-part series. Okay. We started off tonight talking about scholarships, but we have 3 more parts to our series that I would really encourage you to link up with, join, and follow along in some of our stories. In February, we're talking and taking a deep dive into FAFSA. And when I say deep dive, guys, I mean 30 minutes, right? It's not a long time, but it's deep enough for us to really get focused on what's important. So February is all things FAFSA and verification. March, all things Muskegon Area Promise, right? If you want to know about it, we're going to share it. We shared a little bit tonight that it's an opportunity and a game changer. But all the details will definitely be shared in March. And then lastly, in April, is making it all happen. Seniors specifically, you've got award letters coming now in the mail. Colleges are inviting you to their campus. You have financial aid offers, all kinds of decisions to make. We want to be able to help you kind of dig through that all and figure out what is it I need to do and how to do so responsibly. So look for those things to happen in the next coming of months as we continue on through the rest of our series. College advisors and counselors on our Zoom call tonight. We also have something for you. The Michigan College Access Network is recently advertising and creating a webinar series themselves that will help us learn about all the financial aid updates for all of our institutions in the state, right? So if we have an interest of what's happening at Michigan State or U of M or Grand Valley, we have connections to financial aid departments to give direct updates with that. So if you're a counselor and you're an advisor, please make sure you're connecting to those so that you are well armed with the resources to share back with your families. Families are certainly welcome to register for some of those updates as well, especially if it's an institution that you know is one that you hope to connect with very soon. I would encourage that. And that hyperlink is also here tonight as well. And lastly, is just a quick thank you, right, for attending. We want to make sure we're paying attention to our chat. Micah, if you see anything else come through that you need me to answer, please shout and let me know. For those of you on the call with us, I had mentioned before you're going to receive all of our materials after our call. We will make sure we send those out to the email addresses that you used to register, as well as making sure that you know to connect with those live people in your high schools. Our high school counselors, our high school college advisors, and even our experts that we heard from tonight are really here to help, and we're in your corner, and we want to make sure that we have and get you the best information possible. We also have a YouTube channel through our Muskegon Made project that hosts all of these future-focused recorded events. Tonight's is not any exception at all. It will be posted to YouTube very soon. But any past chat that you may want to look at and learn from, you can find us on YouTube, as well as anything future. So if you are unable to join us for any number of the rest of the series that we have coming up in February, March, and April, you can also find a recording of it, like I said, on YouTube. So with that being said, we have a scholarship winner to do a drawing with, and a ton of folks who are on the call and registered tonight. So one of the things that Micah and I thought would be fun because 120 folks later, we found ourselves thinking, gosh, that's a really deep fishbowl or hat, right? So how can we go about making sure this is a random draw and a draw that includes everybody? So one of the things that we chose and found is something that's called Wheel of Names. And as you can see in my full screen mode, I have all 120 registration names in our wheel tonight. And as we look to draw a lucky winner for a $500 scholarship, we are looking, of course, for students. Okay. We're looking to make sure it's a student who has a connection to that need for a scholarship. So, for example, if I spin this wheel and I come up with one of my awesome college advisors or high school counselors, I'm going to respin, okay? Because we want it to go to a student. So we want to make sure that our family has benefited. So without further ado, I'm going to do our spin and see what we come up with. Lisa Abram. Awesome. Lisa Abram. That is our name that we are looking for tonight as we kind of end our scholarship conversation with you all. I want to say congratulations to Lisa Abram and the Abram family. We will make sure we certainly connect with how to claim that award and how we might best support and use that award for whatever the adventure may be. Micah, Shannon, Dana, Ashley, thank you so very much for helping with your expertise tonight and certainly about answering some of our questions that came up in our chat. Micah, was there something else that we needed to follow up in a chat?
A few people asking how they can connect with us, and we will be following up with the PowerPoint and the links and the video from our community foundation, so you can go ahead and respond back to that email, and we can start a conversation about further questions.
Perfect. I see a question coming in just real quick about how do I get a Zello account? And all of our students, grades 6 through 12, have Zello accounts. So if you are a student enrolled in any one of our 16 high schools, 34 altogether, that includes our middle schools, you do have an account, and that is something that you might want to ask your counselor about how to access if you have not done so already. If you're a college student watching tonight and you're already enrolled at perhaps one of our college locations here in town, I can make sure that we get you connected to Zello just by digging up a past Zello account that you may have had when you were a student in high school. Zello is actually the new product of Career Cruising. So Career Cruising has been around for years and years and years, and we can go and resurrect some old records if we need to. So for those of you interested in that, we'll make sure, Micah, if we can make a note, that we'll talk about Zello and how to connect with those accounts as well. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, everyone, again, for joining us. It is 7:40. I want to be very cognizant of time. We said anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. There's lots to celebrate tonight, and hopefully you have some great moments with your families at home. Thank you for joining me and mine, and we will certainly be in touch with all of our follow-up information. Thanks all. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.